Los trabajadores del campo son súper vulnerables en todos los aspectos. Definitivamente tienen impacto porque las compañías grandes solamente les importa el dinero.
Inequality to me, right now, it's applied to farm workers, black and brown people. In Apopka, actually, it's a very specific case, and it's, again, a systemic issue of environmental racism. We have 2 landfills there, and no farmers market, no access to fresh food. You can feel contamination in the air.
The Farm Worker Association of Florida is a 35-year-old grassroots nonprofit organization. We have 5 offices in the state of Florida. We have about 10,000 members statewide, and our members are mostly Haitian, African American, and Hispanic farm workers. The mission of the organization is to build power among farm worker and low-income minority communities to respond to and gain control over the social, political, economic, health, and environmental justice issues that impact their lives.
Because we're not using chemicals, we're not using fertilizers that are artificial. We're going to know why that is called agroecology.
Agroecology basically is a way of producing foods for consumption, not so much for trade. It's more basically for food sovereignty so that communities will have enough food, but do it in a way that is not harmful to the planet and also is healthy, so they don't use chemicals at all.
The agroecology project is based on community gardens. We have the community garden that's in Apopka. So we have African descendant community, Asian community, and a Spanish speakers community. It's about sustainability. We're using permaculture alternative, which is basically indigenous ways of do agriculture.
The whole core of agroecology is respecting the land, respecting the people who work the land. And if we respect the land and we respect the people, then we're not going to put the people to work with, chemicals and toxic pesticides are detrimental for their health.
Los agricultores usan muchas químicas, usan muchas componentes que para hacerlos producir y para matar plagas, pesticidas y de todo usan. Entonces eso es lo que nos está matando a toda la humanidad.
A Day at the Garden looks like community, and it's intergenerational. We have youths, we have elders, we have volunteers. We work a lot with our hands, with our brain. We have silent times, but we also have a time to share our food with our kids.
Es necesario hacer lo que estamos haciendo porque entonces nos vamos a alimentar sanamente, sin químicas y sin nada. Es importante para mí también hablarles a mis hijos, a mi familia, a mis amistades acerca de esto que es bien importante, es pura vida.
What we're gonna do today, parte de lo que vamos a hacer hoy, is to talk about the soil, es hablar acerca de la tierra, and that basic right that we have to have access to soil and our seeds. We have worms, the soil, la tierra es algo que está vivo, it's alive, and we are gonna process it, we're gonna learn about this, vamos a procesarle, aprender un poco de esto. So here in the compost, aquí en el compost, there are a lot of microorganisms that make this soil, que hacen esta tierra. The idea at some point is to have a lot of them, o varias de estas, para producir nuestra propia tierra, to be able to produce our own soil.
Today we're building some raised beds so we can collect the water from the rain so we don't lose so much water.
This is a process we started 6 months ago, basically responding to erosion, like one of the consequences of agribusiness, and also climate change. We're doing these raised beds, which come from indigenous agricultural methods and also organic methods.
We're trying to reduce the amount of water that we use from the city, and that all goes back to like being sustainable.
That's what we were doing today, and is part of the process in all the beds, recognizing that knowledge from indigenous cultures and also new organic methods from African cultures and all the cultures that comes to Apopka and build this place.
It's not that we want farm workers to stop being farm workers, it's that the society should recognize farm workers as an indispensable part of society. Farm workers deserve the best treatment. They should be paid fairly because everybody eats, everybody has to get this food, and the food is coming from them. For the association, it's important that the general public learn that farm work is a very tough kind of activity. The other thing, something that it's for us is very disheartening, is that the people refer to farm work as an unskilled kind of work, and that's not true. I will invite anybody to go to the fields and do the work that farm workers do, because it's a very skilled kind of job.
Yo fui campesina desde que yo era chiquita. Sí, yo también estaba trabajando en una nursería donde cuidaban más a las plantas que a los propios empleados. Obviamente protegiendo a la planta, no protegiéndote a ti. Mucha de esa gente que trabaja ahí tiene problemas respiratorios. De la niña más chiquita que tiene 8 años ahora, que yo trabajaba mezclando químicos y entonces no nos daban protección. Mi niña, ella nació con varios problemas de salud. Entonces ahí entra lo que es el programa de agroecología, en el que promovemos rescatar nuestra cultura de no usar químicos y pesticidas. Es importante involucrarse en lo que es ahorita mismo lo de agroecología para... Dicen por ahí somos lo que comemos, ¿verdad? Entonces necesitamos cambiar un poquito el sistema de comida.
The community gardens are more than just about having sustainable and organic food for people in the community, but it's also about trying to transform our entire agricultural system by saying that conventional agriculture is no longer acceptable. We need to have an agricultural system that is good for people and the planet and that does not abuse workers. We have 4 community gardens in Apopka, Pearson, Homestead, and Fellsmere. The community garden is of, by, and for the farm worker members of the community. But of course, we want to help to educate the broader community, both about farm worker issues, about social justice, about environmental justice. And of course, we like help in the gardens as well. So we invite people that care about the cultural reality of our community to come and participate in working in the community garden as well.
The motivation of this is to open a safe space where people can have access to that food and also to connect to their roots, to their culture, a place with no borders, with no nationalisms, just to come back to our roots and also to have a local economy, a local food system, a local health system.
If farm workers are in good health, I think that the society is in good health as well.
Setting a pattern to have a dignifying way of life and also have food that is nutritious and is good for them and for the environment, and that we can be proud of cultivating.
We have indigenous people before and we have them still here, they are resisting. We have black people that are here and that are living.
The idea is that if we start this small movement and revolution that kids like them start producing their own food, hopefully we're gonna live healthier.
There are a lot of laws and politics that are oppressing us. There are a lot of options of liberation. There are a lot of options of healings, but those options are not in Facebook, those options are not in Instagram, those options are in our communities, in our people, in our kids.
We need to transform agriculture so that we can save people and the planet for future generations.